Now we have got to think of what can happen to a fracture if it is not properly treated. The most important thing to start with is very common thing is malunion. This malunion is because somebody might not have set the fracture position. Suppose the fracture is there. Sometimes it may not be always possible under manipulative reduction, and patient might have been immobilized with fracture in this position. This produces a malunion. So this is mal means in a wrong position. It gets united. That's why we call it as malunion. Then delayed union. Normally, because of mild infections or diabetes, such kind of thing, the fracture gets united after say, a couple of months, or sometimes even after 6 months also, it will not get completely united. So here it is known as delayed union, because in delayed union we can see in the X-rays some attempt of callus formation, but at the same time it is not well united. So we call that as delayed union. And then non-union. Here the fracture fails to unite. This itself is a big topic. As we complete talking about each of the complications, then we will talk about more and more about malunion, then delayed union and non-union. Then these are the things as the fractures are concerned. But in addition to these things, there are certain systemic problems that may arise following fractures, about which most common thing is joint stiffness. Joint stiffness. Because of the immobilization, patient develop joint stiffness, and physiotherapy is very, very important. If proper physiotherapy is not given and the patient do not follow what we tell them, then the patient may end up in joint stiffness. Then, in prolonged immobilization, fracture disease. In this, because of the prolonged immobilization, people have osteoporosis, stiffness, all the things combined together, we call them as fracture disease. And next thing is Folkmann's ischemic contracture. Folkmann's ischemic contracture. This can be due to a tight bandage or a bandage in which the blood gets soaked, then it becomes stiff, and then it may cause a circumferential pressure resulting in venous edema, followed by gradual loss of blood supply to the muscles, skin, all those things, and finally after some time it will end up in what is known as ischemic contracture. Here, if there is sudden loss of blood supply is there, the patient may end up in gangrene. If it is chronic, slowly it occurs, then patient develops Folkmann's ischemic contracture. 7 is post-traumatic osteodystrophy. Due to some unknown reason, there are certain changes in sympathetic system, and the patient will have absorption of the bone, then it results in stiffness of the fingers, redness, unexplained pain. Even though everything looks normal otherwise, suddenly patients develop stiffness of the fingers, redness, swelling, everything, and if you look at the X-rays, they will have osteoporosis at the ends of the metacarpal bones and all that. This is known as, it is named after Sudeck's dystrophy. Post-traumatic osteodystrophy or Sudeck's dystrophy. Fortunately, it is a self-limited disease and can be treated more by physiotherapy and then pain relieving tablets. Nowadays, we don't find these things that commonly this Folkman's ischemic contracture, osteodystrophy and all those things used to be there about several decades ago, when people did not know how to treat the fractures properly, and lot of people used to go to the quacks for treatment. These things used to be very, very common. Now 8th is reactionary edema. Here, especially in the lower limbs or sometimes in the upper limbs also, when we immobilize the patient for a long time, the channels get blocked, and naturally when the patient starts walking, there will be a lot of swelling, and typically when the patient goes to bed, there will be a lot of swelling. By the time he gets up in the morning, there will not be anything. As the day progresses, as the patient walks about or moves, then there will be swelling. This is a normal phenomena. It occurs for about a couple of months. To prevent that, you can use crepe bandages or keep the foot elevated in between. This is reactionary edema. It's not a serious problem. It will usually be only on the affected side, unlike the edema due to other causes. Now, another dreaded complication is 9. Ninth complication is injury to nerves. 13, injury to blood vessels. 14, respiratory complications. Respiratory complications, they occur because sometimes patient is forced to stay in bed and he cannot breathe properly, or could be sometimes in ICU there may be some cross infections. So many things are possible. So respiratory infections. 15, urinary tract infections. 16, pressure sores. 17, postural contractures. Patient who is bedridden for a long time, they have developed deformities like this, and they are known as postural contractures. And 18, sometimes there will be psychological effects, psychological trauma. Psychological trauma. Number 19 among complication is infection. Infection is a very dreaded complication in case of fractures. If there is infection, it may lead to so many complications like osteomyelitis. These are some of the complications, and it is most important thing when you are meddling with fractures to see that the infection does not occur. If there is infection, definitely it is going to be a disaster for the patient as well as the doctor who is treating the patient. So the most important complication is infection, even though I have mentioned at the end. And the 20th complication is, well, I will be talking about all these things individually later at the end of the fracture management, each thing, complication, how it is to be treated. Myositis ossificans. Myositis ossificans is a complication wherein in the soft tissues surrounding the joint especially, there will be the hematoma gets not only just a callus, it completely gets calcified, and this acts like a bony block. For example, small example, if you look at this, this is any injury near the elbow. Here a bony block forms here. Or here. Because of that, this acts like a block and patient will completely lose the movement of the joint. Fortunately, nowadays we do not see this much. Olden days, especially when the people are doing lot of massage following a fracture, these people used to have this myositis ossificans. Now we do not see that much because the advancement and awareness of the people about fractures and all that. So these are all the things which will happen following a fracture. Patients may end up with any of these problems if one is not careful while treating fractures.